Well, hello there, goddesses. How are you all today? We're on for our second live Q&A. I'm a poet and I know it. All right. I am so excited for our Q&A today. So I'm going to wait for a little bit while everybody comes on board. But I'm really excited because I've been sent lots of questions for those that can't make it live, but also we can have a discussion. And you know what I forgot to do yesterday, which is kind of cool, because I get to actually announce the winner of our very special little Wonder Woman charm that I have for you. Yeah, so we didn't do it yesterday because I forgot. So we're actually going to do it today, and I've put the names into my St. Patrick's Day hat. So we'll do that at the end of the Q&A today. So just waiting for people to come in and join us live. Want to make sure that I am in the right group. Always a good thing. I'm just going to check that. Sometimes comments don't come through here, so I want to just check. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so while we're waiting for more people to come in, hello. Oh, I can see people starting to join us now. I will do my introduction. If you've never seen me live, where have you been in our beautiful tribe community? My name is Lisa Barwise, and I consider myself a wellness alchemist. Now, what the heck is that? I consider it a kick-ass catalyst in the transformation of women around the world. I'm the kick in the butt, basically, to help you to transform, to become stronger of mind, body, and character. And hence why we love our superheroes here. I'm the creator of Warrior Goddess Kettlebell Training and our online body shape change programs we call the Warrior Goddess Body, and the hostess with the mostess of the Goddess Got Goals podcast, which you totally need to check out if you haven't already. And I'm here today to answer all of your questions about kettlebell training, body shape change, eating for fat loss, plant-based diets, how to lose the fat, how to build muscle, how to master the kettlebell, how to if you've got injuries or niggles. A niggle is like where you have some sort of a bit of pain or something that's not quite working right, like your hip's a bit off or your ankle's a bit sore, or maybe you do have a condition like plantar fasciitis, or you have, you know, tight wrists or a wrist injury or a rotator cuff injury or a frozen shoulder. You can ask me loads of questions about all of that as well. And that's what we're here to do. And then we're also going to do our draw, which I didn't do yesterday, but I think it's kind of to your advantage, for our special Wonder Woman charm. La, la, la. And I've already put the names into the hat here. This is my St. Patrick's hat. So I will do that draw towards the end of the Q&A today. Yay! All right. So if you are on, write hello. Let us know where in the world you're coming from in the comments. And what I'll do is start to answer the questions that I've been given. Yeah? So these are questions that people send to me once they've registered for the masterclass, for example. People send these to me quite regularly. All of these sorts of things. So I wanted to answer one that came up. Let me see if I can find my notes here. Oh, where did it go? It was a really cool one. Okay. Okay, yes, that's a really interesting one. Yeah. So somebody had asked, and I'm going to talk about this too. So if you're on board, hi, says Tara. Hi, you're most welcome. Come on in. As I said, I'm going to do the draw for our little charm today. For those that have entered, you would have entered by sharing your graphic on your Instagram or Facebook. And I forgot to do it yesterday, but I kind of think it's good because you guys get to have it. And I've already put the names inside my hat. So we'll do that towards the end of the Q&A. Okay, so the first question I got, which I thought was really interesting and I wanted to answer today, was someone who registered for the masterclass wanted to know, is carb cycling and counting macros not just another form of dieting? So this is a very interesting one, right? Because it depends on what your goals are. So if you're looking to lose fat and if you're looking to change your body shape, you need to focus on your diet, right? You need foundationally, if you have seen our masterclass, or if not, we share the 4-step formula for body shape change, and in that, the most important part is what you consume, right? Your diet. And that's the word diet in its truest sense. The nutrition that you eat on a daily basis, your nutritional diet, your intake, yeah? So it's what you eat when, and for what purpose, and also not just what you eat, but what goes into your bloodstream, which is really important. So when somebody says, is tracking your macros and carb cycling not another diet? It is and it isn't, right? What we say it is that it's an eating protocol. So in most definitions of a diet, it's restrictive. It's restricting calories. It's, basically giving you restrictions, giving you things that you can't consume. It's giving you, I'm trying to think of like all the different diets, or it's restricting your calories. What we're trying to do is help you to figure out what to eat in terms of eating the right thing at the right time for the right purpose for you. So yes, in some instances it's restrictive, i.e., you still are going to need to manipulate calories if you want to lose fat and if that's your goal. You're also still going to manipulate calories in terms of eating more if you want to build muscle and that's your goal. And also if you are trying to heal your gut and your liver and any hormone imbalances, you may need to restrict certain types of macronutrients some of the time, pulling back. But in essence, what we're trying to teach is eating rather than dieting, right? So we don't say that we diet and exercise, we say that we eat and we train. So when it comes to counting your macros, the official title for that is flexible dieting. So it is got an element of diet in there. And with carb cycling, it's actually by definition what we call an eating protocol, right? So it's more of a mindset shift than it is a definition or a semantics, right? It's not just a definition or using of words. So for me, it's more about the mindset shift. So rather than me, when I think about the word diet, I think about deprivation. I think about, restriction. I think about misery. I think about, constantly being on something, or constantly doing the same thing every day, or just doing it for a short amount of time to get a result, right? Versus what we do with the way that we teach how to eat the right thing at the right time for the right purpose is that it's a journey for you to understand what you need to be eating for your goals. So some people start with us to lose fat. Some people start to us because they want to build muscle or build out their muscle curves, or MERVs as we call them. And eating for each of those is two completely different ways of eating, right? So in some, the macros matter. In some, the calories matter. In others, it's about the timing. It's also about what macros you're eating when. And it's really a journey of discovering how your body works. So say, for example, I'll give you a perfect example. One of our amazing coaches, Brio, our head community coach, was doing the keto diet for I think a year. She did it for a year. And she lost 70 pounds, right? Or is it 90? Between 70 or 90 pounds. God, this is a terrible example. I should have had the information at my fingertips. But we talk about it in the masterclass with detail, okay? But she followed the keto diet and she got very great results, right? And for her, based on where she was coming with her insulin sensitivity, she was very close to, if not to, stage 2 diabetic, type 2 diabetic. It really works for her because carbs are very difficult for those in that insulin resistant diabetic pan can be difficult. So it worked for her to get to that point. But then she did the same thing as part of that diet, and for up to like 3 or 4 months, nothing happened. No changes, no weight loss. She basically plateaued out. Also, she didn't add any muscle, and she was noticing that her strength and the changes to her body were different and not what she wanted. So when she discovered us, the wonderful warrior goddess kettlebell training, and did her 6-week unicorn challenge, what she found was we were able to ramp her metabolism back up because we introduced carb cycling to her. So carb cycling for her is still very what works for her body, high fat, high protein, and pulling back on carbs, but also the very delicate timing of carbs for her based on her workouts and building strength and building muscle, and also the type of carbs she was consuming, right? So that becomes very important as well. So it's understanding your body and understanding what works for you. So that's what I loved about that question, because the answer is kind of yes and no. I suppose if you were looking at it from a semantics point of view, it still falls under, flexible dieting. But I like to think of it more as a mindset shift of you trying to understand how to eat the right thing at the right time for the right reason for you, for your goals, like what's going on, what is it that you want to achieve, and also what are you trying to achieve that day with that workout, with that eating protocol. Does that help? I hope that helps. Right, do we have any other questions? I'm going to check in case I'm getting questions that I can't see, because sometimes they don't come up here, and I can't see them. So I'm just going to check. Okay, so I have another question that somebody asked regarding an injury. Okay, so I want to talk about that, for example. So and I get pretty much the same 4 types of injury questions regularly. So I have a lower back pain. Okay, I have a rotator cuff or a shoulder or a frozen shoulder injury. I have arthritis, or I have joint pain issues, or what was the one that I also get, or I have some sort of hip pain, right? So the first thing that we always say with regards to specific injuries or conditions is, number 1, has your doctor or physio passed you for exercise? As long as your doctor or physio is saying it's okay for you to exercise, then you can do any of our programs. Then it comes down to, well, what can you do? What is the range of motion that you currently have? Now, the other thing that really worries ladies when they're first starting with kettlebell training is they're worried they're going to get injured, right? They've never done strength training before, or the idea of swinging this cannonball between your legs is like, what? Okay. So, it's a little bit like, it's a little bit more difficult. So, first of all, that's a mindset shift in itself. Women are way stronger than we think that we are and completely underestimate our strength. But also, when it comes to doing any sort of new program, strength training or fitness, you need to just have a step-by-step program in place that you follow so that you don't fall into the over-exercise category or push yourself too hard, or just pick a random workout off the internet and do it, right? That's not going to work for you. Well, how we build out all of our programs is starting with just 4-minute kettlebell workouts, because kettlebell training is completely different to any sort of mode of training. A 30-minute kettlebell workout is the equivalent of 2 hours in the gym because of how it functions. But we're not going to say do a 30-minute workout off the bat. What we're going to do is build you up slowly so that you can consistently hit a 25 to 35 minute workout, so that you can do more of them, because consistency trumps intensity every time. So I would rather you do a 4-minute workout 5 days a week than 1 hour-long workout specifically with kettlebells, right? The reason is you're not going to build any muscle. You're likely to over-exercise and stress out the body. The more stressed the body is, the more it's going to hold on to fat. And also, we like you to understand that training through your menstrual cycle and where you are in that is really important, because there's certain times during your 28-day to 34 days menstrual cycle that if you do a certain style of training actually causes you to add more fat and activate your fat storage mode as well as your muscle wasting mode. So you need to understand what we call when to push and when to rest, not just in the workout, but what workout you're going to do based on where you're at, right? So that's why a training plan is essential. So if, for example, you have an injury and you can't do a lot of upper body stuff, or you can't do upper body stuff with heavier weights, you can still move your lower body. You can still do some movements. You just either pull back on weight or do it body weight only. We also have resistance band workouts, all of which are going to help you to get the body moving, which ultimately is going to get the blood flow moving, which is going to help it to heal. And then you can start to notice that strength and conditioning. But here's the thing that tends to happen. Most women say, I'm not fit enough, I'm not strong enough, or I'm too old to do X, Y, and Z. Kettlebell training, strength training, whatever that is. But it's a catch-22, right? You need to actually do the workout to get stronger. You need to do that training to get fitter. You need to have a strength training plan that's a step-by-step plan to ensure that you're doing strength and conditioning on both parts of your body, so that you're strengthening both sides equally, so that you're not off balance or that you're not having any sort of conditioning issues, as we call it. Okay. So I have a question here from Tara. Love that. Can I put some greens powder in my Prudy instead of fresh? Living on an island is sometimes easier to find a unicorn than fresh greens. Yeah, I get you. This is what I would suggest. 2 parts to that. 1, by all means, green powder. Go for it. Knock yourself out, especially if it's got spirulina and chlorella and wheatgrass in it. Awesome for you. Yes. But the other thing is freeze your greens. So when you find that little unicorn packet of spinach or some kale, right? Freeze it. It's the best thing. It lasts a very long time. It lasts a good couple of weeks in your freezer. And also it'll save you money, because I don't know about you, spinach wilts like that. I buy a bag of spinach on a Monday, by Thursday it's right? So, and I generally eat a bag of spinach in about a day or 2 days. It's just how I roll. But what I also do is I freeze kale and spinach and put it into little Prudy bags. So doing your meal prep on a Sunday, especially for Prudies and especially for these sorts of things, what you want to do is make up little, reusable bags where you put 1 handful of spinach in, 1 handful of kale in, and maybe that little small palm of berries, yeah? And put that in. Now, if you're doing a banana, which we normally say like a quarter of banana, some days you do, some days you don't. Carb days, high carb days you will, low carb days you won't. And then put that in there, and then you can freeze them up. And then that just means that, so yes, the answer is yes, you can put greens powder, knock yourself out with that. But 2, when you do get yourself some of those unicorn greens, freeze them. That's the answer. Yeah? Beautiful. Okay, do we have any other questions? I would love to answer some questions. Let me answer another kettlebell question that I get asked, or what equipment do I need is a big one, or what sizes do I need, or general equipment questions. I generally get that a lot. So I'll answer that one. Feel free to ask any other questions that you have while we're on live. And then in a minute, I'm going to do this draw for our lovely unicorn, or not unicorn, Wonder Woman. I'm all unicorned out now, Tara. Is because we're about to do our unicorn announcements as well today. So we've got this little charm that's going to go out. Okay. So the question I want to answer, because I'm getting this a lot, is what size do I need? How many will I need? And where do I get them from? Okay, good questions. So first of all, we understand that during the pandemic, kettlebells are also like unicorns, Tara, in that they can be harder to find. But what's amazing about kettlebells is you don't need a lot. It's not like dumbbells or a full home gym where you need barbells and racks and benches and full dumbbell sits of varying weights, right? You don't need that. That's not the way kettlebell training works. In your lifetime, if you were to join the full Sexy Strong program and do a 12-month program, you will probably end up having 6 kettlebells in your collection. 6, okay? But that's it. That's all you're going to need. And that's only if you really fancy, and you get a little bit addicted and you start buying really cool bells, which tends to happen. But if you want to get started, or you're just doing our 12-week, 3-month ultimate plan, you're only going to need 4 bells tops in 3 months. If you want to get started right now, we recommend either 2 bells if you're on a budget, or 3 if you can get access to them. So what are these bells? So let's assume that you're starting as a complete beginner to kettlebell training, okay? So beginner to kettlebell training, beginner to strength training, okay? So we definitely recommend that no lighter, and I'll tell you why in a second, no lighter than 8 kilo or 15 pounds for your first kettlebell. This is the one that you'll use mostly for lower body, okay? Swings, deadlifts, squats, yeah? And we will teach you within a matter of weeks of how to do lower and upper body at the same time, okay? So, oh, happy dog, I think the door's gone. So that's upper body and lower body. So we work to get you to be able to do everything with that 8 kilo. However, when you're first starting out, most women are not as strong in their upper body. So we very gently say you can add a lighter bell, like a 6 kilo, which I'm not sure exactly what that is in pounds, or you can add 2 4 kilos if you want to do doubles, which is another way to help your body. So how would you decide if you're somebody who's doing 2 4 kilos or 1 6 kilo? How would you decide that? So if you have had any sort of injuries in your shoulders or upper body, you're better to pick 2 4 kilos as well as your 8 kilo. Does that make sense? 2 4 kilos, 8 kilo. The reason why the 4 kilo will come in handy is because you want to gradually build this up and you want doubles. Doubles will balance you out. Okay, if you have some strength there, or you are, or don't have any injuries, or are on a budget and you just want to buy 2 bells, then we recommend a 6 kilo. Not sure what that is in pounds. It's on the blog post that I created, which I'll tag in underneath here. But that will give you a starter, right? And that will last you for the first 6 weeks. After the first initial 6 weeks, we're going to want you to up your bells, okay? You want to focus on lifting heavier bells as fast as you can. That's the goal. Load is king when you're trying to change your body shape and build muscle. So progressing quickly is what we want for you. So getting up to a 12 kilo bell for swings will be definitely doable after 6 weeks, okay? So that's it. So that would be 4 bells that you'd have after the end of 6 weeks. Then towards the end of 12 weeks, you might add a 16 kilo. And then you might just start getting fancy and want doubles, like double 8s or double 10s or double 12s, which some of the ladies do. And then, believe it or not, towards the end of our 12-month program, there is a 20 kilo kettlebell in your future. All right, so I hope that was helpful. I've got a full guide which outlines what sort of bells and where to get them. So depending on where you are in your country, we have lots of local places. Brio buys a lot of bells, so she tends to post up where she gets hers. So we've posted that in the group here. You'll find it on lots of different threads. Anybody asking about bells, look for that. If you are based in Northern Ireland, there is a place that I get my bells, but I think they're out of 8 kilos at the moment. But again, I just go on to Google, eBay, Amazon, Argos. Sometimes you can get them in Decathlon or Sainsbury's, though they're not the best bells. And then just keep looking. Somebody found theirs on a recycle site the other day. Somebody else found theirs. Somebody was selling it on Facebook's, seller things, some gyms that are no longer open. That's where we sold a load of ours. You can get them there, okay? So there's lots of different ways that you can get a hold of bells right now. But the thing is, you got to hunt for them, and you got to look for them, and you got to anticipate that it might take about a week to get there. Okay. But of course, post up ones that you like. We can give you feedback on whether they are a good bell. We've actually done full videos on what you're looking for in a bell, what sort of materials, what shapes to go for, all of that sort of stuff as well. We've got you covered with everything because we want to make sure that you are feeling like you're making good investments in what I think is the best tool in the world. All right, ladies. So thank you so much for joining in live. We have got 2 live masterclasses left if you still want to find out how you can develop the strength, belief, and body of a superhero. Our Sexy Strong program is still open. It's now open until tomorrow. That's Wednesday at midnight GMT. And then the doors are closed. So we got 1 masterclass tonight at 7 p.m. GMT, 1 tomorrow at 4 p.m. GMT. You do the time thingies. And then we close midnight tomorrow. That's it. Doors closed. We won't be opening again maybe until the end of the year. We'll let you know how that works out. I always say don't think that there's going to be another one because I never know if I'm going to do another one or not based on the uptake and where we've got going on, and God knows what's happening in this world of ours. But if you're on the fence, just jump in with both feet. You want to find out more about what the Sexy Strong program is? First of all, come all over to the masterclass. We will explain how all of that works. Secondly, you can go and access the Sexy Strong program information page, which is at warriorgoddesskettlebelltraining.com/go. If you want to access one of the masterclasses and grab one of those limited space seats, it's warriorgoddesskettlebelltraining.com/superhero. And we can't wait to see you over there. It's like having a party. And just with you and guys and chatting. It's amazing. All right, I said I was going to do this draw. Thanks for holding on to the end. So this is the little charm. It's very cute and adorable. This is my St. Patrick's Day hat, and there's things inside it. And the winner, Tina Keaton. Tina Keaton, you are the winner of our little charm. Yay! So that'll be posted off to you. So Tina will get I'll get Dia to send you a message, or if you can actually email support@warriorgoddesskettlebelltraining.com with your full address. We'll post that off to you. Dia, who is my Wing Woman will help you and get the answers to you, okay? But well done to you, Tina Keaton. Lovely. So ladies, come on in. Come and join us for the masterclass. One this evening, one tomorrow. Use this group for questions if you have any. We're here to help and support you. It's where the after party happens. And as always, we will be here to help and support you on whatever goals you have to be a goddamn superhero, because that's what we're all about. So thanks so much for watching. I look forward to connecting with you in the masterclass tonight or tomorrow. And until then, have a wonderful day. Peace out.